2024 Reston 10 miler. This one is on March 3rd, and it is starting at 8 a.m. in Reston, VA. The official start area is the South Lakes High School in Reston. Couple of notes before the race. Specifics here are we're going to just talk about this first picture right here. It is early March, so the weather can be highly unpredictable. I would expect it to be a little bit on the chillier side, and you can see that from the two individuals that are bundled up right here. So make note of that as you prepare for your race. Scrolling down, this is the main landing page. It is the swag here. This is what you can expect for the 2024 edition. Nice little quarter zip and a medal. On-course support, there are 3 water stations. They are at mile 3, 6, and 8.5. There will be awards here at top 3 overall for male and female. There will also be awards for the top 3 male and female age group finishers in 5-year increments from 14 and under all the way up through 80 years old. So pretty cool stuff there. Course time limit is a 13:30 mile, 2 hours and 15 minutes. There's going to be free photos at this event, so make sure you check those out. And you do get your free photos. That's pretty cool. Results are going to be posted there, and packet pickup, that is one of the other areas we are going to talk about leading up to the race here. You have a couple of options, and the first one is on Thursday, February 29th, Friday the 1st, Saturday the 2nd, and Sunday the 3rd, which is race day. The 29th, 1st, and 2nd of March are all going to be in the same location there, that 11911 Democracy Drive in Reston, VA, and it will take... They do make a note here that they say the first hour in the garage is free, and it is also free after 5 p.m. in the garage there, which is really cool. Sunday, race day, March the 3rd, packet pickup is available from 7 to 7:45. If you are local, highly encourage you to just pick it up beforehand just to eliminate some pre-race unnecessary stress. And with that, we're going to go back, and believe it or not, we're already going to talk about the course map. This is our course map here. You can see the start is going to be right out over here on that Lake Drive, and that is outside of the South Lakes premises, kind of on that main road. So what they usually do is corral you up right over here, and then they start you off, bam, and you go and you make that right-hand turn right over there. Let's get a little more detailed approach here. So this is the same course here, and I'm just going to roll through the course here, and you can follow the dot to see exactly where the course is. Very familiar roads for a lot of individuals out there, and a couple things to note: that this course will double back on itself a couple of times before we finish on the back side, and then we will just loop in up to the South Lakes High School. Another thing to note: on that finish line, you will progress all the way down almost towards the start over here, and you will turn around before you do make that finish. That is to get the official 10 miles in. So let's talk about how to attack this race. First thing that you will note here, we have a starting area that is pretty flat for the most part, with a hill that happens right over here, and it crests back through this point right here. What that means is a lot of nerves, a lot of athletes raring to go on March 3rd, and a lot of athletes really push the pace, unnecessarily so, during this section here. Your main goal should just be to just get up this hill, and you should be working a little bit, but if you find you're pushing kind of that threshold pace or power, then you do need to back things off slightly and, kind of just get into the race. We haven't even approached the first mile yet. So this can be a very painful first mile if you let yourself get caught up in some of those pre-race antics. Nevertheless, though, you're going to drop down during this section right through here, and that is this point on the map here. And this area should be used as kind of a recovery zone, and you should also be aware of your running form. Make sure your running form is nice and tight during this section. This hill is going to kind of drop you down a little bit, and let gravity assist you on this downhill. This is not a place where you should be forcing your effort level. This is a place where you should be getting yourself ready to go here, because this is our first key to the course during this section right through here, this back section through here. This is going to be an area where you're slowly going to start to ramp up your effort. So it's starting there, ramping it up, ramping it up, ramping it up. But I say that in relative terms because you don't want to overdo it here, and you still want to be within your race-paced effort here. You're ramping up into your race pace during mile, let's call it 1.25, all the way up to about mile 2.75 in this section here. After you get through this section, you should be ready to go. And on this downhill section, again, similar to the rest and what we've talked about already before, form should be critical here. This is a recovery spot where your form should be rock solid, okay? Allow the hill to just push you down, right? And just get down the hill. And you are going to be hit with another hill right after that point in time. Just get up this hill. Don't worry about it. If you do find yourself walking up some of these hills, that's not a terrible thing. And in an ideal situation, if you are walking, it is going to be on one of these steeper uphill sections, just so you're losing less time over the course of this race before you get dropped down again, where your form should just be good here. All right, let gravity do its thing. If you find yourself forcing the downhill, do not do that. Do not do that. Second big key to the course here is this section right here, and highlighting a bit more. I would envision this hill as ending at this point in time, and I'll make a little arrow note for you guys right through here. That is where this hill actually ends, not this point here. You're going to find a lot of people coming off the gas right here and just kind of cruising and getting off of this hill, and that's something that you do not want to do. When you get to this section, this is our first real race-paced section here. This is in an area where you can really run the whole duration of this point here. And you want to put the pace down, you want to put the power out, but you don't want to blow it yet, because this section here is going to be the make or break section on race day, and you don't want to put all of your eggs in this basket over here on section number 3. But you want to put a couple in there, because this is going to be the point in time where a lot of athletes really start to fade. And if you can even just hold your pace during this section here, you're going to find yourself in a much more successful spot in the placings in the ranks. Last downhill right here. This is a critical point for you to recover for a couple of minutes, maybe. But again, more importantly is to really have your form nice and tight in this section here. If you find yourself just kind of floppy and uncoordinated, make sure you're tightening it up a little bit, and that's going to get you down the hill faster. It's also going to set you up for success once we go up over our final real ramp up over the course. And then afterwards, it's just all out to that finish line. And again, remember, when we are approaching that finish line over here, you do have to go down past the finish line and curl back up to get to it. It's a little turnaround right there at the very end. So that is a little bit painful mentally if you're just right on the edge. And that is a course breakdown of our Reston 10 miler. And again, when you are planning your course or planning your attack, miles 3, 6, and 8.5 are going to be the water stops out there. So we only have water on course. We know that. If you are an athlete that needs to train or fuel with something else, and I highly encourage you to do so, it's 10 miles, almost a half marathon. Bring your gels, bring your goos, bring whatever you're using, right? If you're using some liquid water, if you want to experiment with a handheld bottle, this is a perfect race to do that. A perfect opportunity to do that. It's the beginning of March. There's really no lose here when you're trying some new things at a race like this, right? And if it doesn't work out, you have 3 other opportunities to just fuel with that water anyways. So practice what you want to practice with nutritionally. Make sure you're doing that leading up to the race here. Also, make sure you are aware of where those aid stations are on course. Lastly, do not overdo it in this first section of the course over here. And the real race really starts after you get past this point over here, 2.5 miles over there. So good luck to everyone at this 2024 edition of our Reston 10 miler event. I hope the weather is great for everybody, and good luck. If you need any training or coaching tips or advice, please reach out. I'll be happy to help you.